All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we are going to be in the 147-pound division. Keith, one-time Thurman, looking for the Errol Spence Jr., Terrence Crawford, either one of those guys for a belt. Keith Thurman's former opponent, Shawn Porter, delivers bad news. You just might be what you say you're not, and that means you might have to go to Ennis. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we are going to talk about the welterweight division, specifically something that Shawn Porter, former WBC welterweight champion, former IBF welterweight champion, current owner and participant in the Porterweight podcast, had to say about the welterweight division, specifically as it relates to Keith Thurman and his desire to fight Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford, and his lack of a desire to face Ennis. Now, before I get into that, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. Also, if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter, thank you so much for your support in the live streams and in the videos that we do. Also, we over on Patreon, we have a lot of really good new content over on Patreon. So check us out over there at Patreon. And lastly, if you do support the channel, there's a new way to do it on this video, which is a super thanks, which you see below. Any support would be greatly appreciated. Helps the channel continue to go. Thank you very much. Now let's get into this. First and foremost, let me say this about the welterweight division for people that are regularly, come to the channel and say, man, why does Fanon talk so much about the welterweight division with Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Ennis, Keith Thurman? It's my favorite division. It's been my favorite division for a long time. And actually, despite the fact that it doesn't look like or at least we have not to date, got the big fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. It's a division that real fights can take place in and have taken place in. And, talking about some of the other stuff down there at lightweight, where it really at this point in time is a lot of make-believe going on in the lightweight division, in that, all of these guys are pretty much locked in to fighting guys on their own promotional network. Nobody's really fighting each other. Unlike that, in the welterweight division, we really have gotten a lot of fights that we like to see, but with the exception of Terrence Crawford getting in the mix. And now that we have a return to full-time boxing by one of the best welterweights of this century, Keith one-time Thurman, I like talking about it because it's just, you have such a more high probability of these fights actually taking place. So Keith Thurman had recently said, look, I'm not a gatekeeper. I want to fight one of the best champions. I want to fight the champions. That's what I'm here to do. If I have to fight these guys, I will, right? Now, Shawn Porter gave some comments about it, and I thought that he was really, really on point. And he said, first, Keith Thurman is a great fighter, 100%, understands why he wants to fight the champions at this stage. But he said, look, you made a lot of mistakes in being overly strategic in your boxing career early on, right? And by that means, not necessarily fighting some people that deserved a shot, right? Something that you cannot accuse Shawn Porter of doing. Shawn Porter has literally fought everybody in that division, right? Everybody in the division, even Terrence Crawford, who is very obviously a good friend of his. When it was time to say, hey man, all the guys I can fight, you're the one that's left, he went and fought his friend, right? Something that a lot of other people in boxing are balking on doing, Shawn Porter did. So if you look at his career and his ability to get championship fight after championship fight, which is something that Keith Thurman wants to do, I think he is definitely a good, definitely a good example of somebody that was able to achieve that throughout his career, even though he didn't have as much success in championship fights as Keith Thurman. So when he says Keith Thurman was being too strategic, what he may be talking about is essentially the Errol Spence Jr. fight, when that Errol Spence Jr. fight was on the table, and he was basically saying, yeah, down the line, we'll do it, when kid looked good, but and buts, if ands and buts or candy and nuts type of situation, right? That pause. Some people in the conversation will say pause, so pause. Anyway, you get my point. Keith Thurman was just, picking and choosing too much. So what does that mean for him now? It means for now, man, that you're going to have to be if you're not going to be the gatekeeper, well, you are a gatekeeper, is what Keith Thurman is, what Shawn Porter is saying. It's like you're somebody that used to be really, really good, and now you're not as good as you used to be. So people that are coming up are going to try to fight you so that they can get at the top guys. And look, man, if there are situations where that's just what you have to do, especially if you want to get a shot, you want to force a shot at a belt. Now, if Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford fight doesn't happen, then what's the situation for Keith Thurman? He's going to probably wind up fighting for a vacant belt, and he's going to probably fight again for a vacant belt for that WBC against one of these young guns, whether it be Jaron Ennis or whether it be Virgil Ortiz, or somebody, that you just don't come in, somebody from left field that you don't see coming. Could be for the W. It could be Josh Taylor moving up from 140 pounds. But, it doesn't seem as if Keith Thurman is going to really that he's going to go back and get these championships. It's a ish or get off the pot type of situation for him, right? Terrence Crawford is not more than likely not going to fight him. Errol Spence Jr. said affirmatively he's not going to fight him. Or, go and have a Legends tour up there at 154. Go fight, Danny Garcia said he'd be interested in a fight at 154, right? Maybe there's an off chance if Danny Garcia said he'd come back down to 147 that you could maybe fight Danny Garcia for a vacant belt at 147. But, that's not going to really reestablish you as one of the top guys, in the division, beating Danny Garcia. But, it is a shame that Keith Thurman blew that Errol Spence Jr. fight. It was definitely there for him, but it was also there for Errol. And at the end of it, you have to wonder whether or not at that time he was particularly confident about his ability to beat him. Now, as far as all the injuries and all that stuff that were taking place in his career, I don't have any reason to doubt that he was telling the truth about his injuries. However, that things happen, man. And if you had been somebody that was open to fight, specifically Errol Spence Jr. at that point in time, Errol Spence Jr. probably would give you the shot, coming up now. But the saying, you make your bed, you got to lie in it. But anyway, I thought that was a very good observation by Shawn Porter. I thought it was absolutely spot on that, hey, man, you just got to accept where you are right now, and you very well may be a gatekeeper. However, if you are a gatekeeper and you beat one of these guys coming up, then boom, you get a shot at the championship. You're not a gatekeeper anymore. There's a way to get out of that scenario for yourself, But anyway, like, for example, Kiko Martinez, right? Kiko Martinez was definitely a gatekeeper type of guy, or below that, wound up getting that win over what's that guy's name out there? Kid Galahad, and over there in the UK, and then boom, all of a sudden he's the IBF champion, fights Josh Warrington, gets another paycheck. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.